Hey, what's good, Chiefs Kingdom? It's your guys, Scott, Nick, and Bo, here with you on a Halloween edition of the Kingdom Cast. We're going to be doing some game picks. Our schedules didn't sync up yesterday for us to do it, so you're getting a special Halloween version here today. Go ahead and click that like and subscribe button if you want to help us out here and help the show. And you can follow us on all of our social media platforms at the Kingdom Cast. We're coming to you live today. We're going to pick some games here. Games are getting ready to start here before too long. So we'll talk a little bit about the Chiefs game tomorrow night, Monday Night Football against the New York Giants as well. So how are you guys doing on Halloween morning here?
I've had quite the frustrating morning. My internet went out about 10 minutes ago, so I'm doing this all through my phone now. But other than that, great, man. It's a great, beautiful day up here in Washington.
Yeah, I'm good. I already had my coffee and got the kids. The kids are already wearing their Halloween costumes, so we got to white knuckle it through the day and hope they don't ruin them before it's time to go out tonight. Yeah, it's good. Just enjoying a Sunday morning. Ready for Bo to come into town and go see the Chiefs tomorrow, Monday Night Football. So it's exciting.
Yeah, stoked.
Yeah.
Yeah, night games are. I don't know what it is. Just something about the lights. Maybe it's because it's different, and people get wrapped up in the prime time thing. To me, like I don't really even think about that when I'm at the game. It's even something that's on TV or
Right.
national coverage or whatever. Sometimes with Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football, though, they'll have the extra cameras, like they got like the cable cam or whatever they call that, and you can see like the ESPN and the NBC logos, or they've got the banners and whatnot. But really, to me, I like football under the lights. Hopefully, we got some good weather. Rain here in the Kingdom for about a solid 3 days, and we've had a couple of nice days here. So, fingers crossed that continues tomorrow. We don't want to be out there in the monsoon or freezing ass cold rain. So, go ahead and if you guys want to start picking some games, and we'll do the Chiefs at the end and break down that game a little more in depth and pick our scores.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Hey, just want to shout out to John V. What's up, dude? I see your comments, man.
Oh, damn.
I'm Bo,
John
by the way,
B's in
John
the
V.
house.
You forgot me in that comment. Hey, there it is.
He had one. Yeah, he got it. He got it.
He's saving the best for last.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Yeah.
John B's a buddy of mine. He's got a show out there. It's called The Locker Room Rant. It's really, really good. If you haven't checked it out, you should definitely go check that out.
I know who he is. I've checked it out.
And watch it. It's
a great show.
It's really funny. Those guys do a really good job, and they know their football too. They got good content there. So go give them a watch and give them a follow and check out their channel. It's really good stuff. So what's the first game we got on tap here today?
Let's see here. First, we got the Ravens and the Raiders are only teams on a bye, and first game on the docket here is Miami at Buffalo. We may be having to pick with the spread on this one.
That's why I think I threw this one in there. I created this last week. But again, dude, just the spreads Buffalo's getting is fascinating to me.
Their offense has been pretty good, and they've blown some teams out here. I think they beat Houston 40-0. I want to say they beat the Dolphins earlier this year, like 35-3 or something too. So Dolphins are in a tailspin. They're in complete free fall. Their defense has gone off the cliff. But there he goes. No, he goes by no too, John. So
no, right?
Anything.
That's what the lady calls me anyway every night.
Yeah. No. That's a little personal, but thanks for sharing, Bo.
Hey, familiar
the
ground.
Dolphins, they're a mess. They've got this Deshaun Watson stuff going on. Who knows what's going on there? Tua maybe it's bothering him a little bit that they're looking to replace him when he's actually played pretty decent. Defense has gone completely in the tank for that team, which is not unusual. We've talked about this before when we were talking about the Chiefs' defensive woes. It's hard you see a lot of these teams that have like a top 5 or top 10 defense one year. fall off in middle of the pack or even bottom half or bottom third the next year. It's just really tough. The rules are slanted against defensive players. You get a little older, you lose a key guy to free agency, and the next thing you know, you are sixth. You're a sixth ranked defense, and now you're 20th. That happens all the time. So, John here's got he watches the Lions closely too. He knows what he's talking about there. So, I would pick Buffalo in the points right now. Miami just looks terrible. They've got playmakers on offense. It was kind of they're a little bit of a surprise to me this year that they've been as bad as they are, but they just lost to Jacksonville over there in London. So weird team this year. I'll take Buffalo and I'll pick them to cover too. Nick?
Yeah, I mean, how quickly things change, right? I mean, I remember Tank for Tua being a thing, and now it's like he's like the next Rosen or something. And I don't know. Look, I'll say that I was rooting for Tua. I like the Dolphins. I think I like that franchise, but more than that, like I want a left-handed quarterback to succeed because I'm left-handed. So as stupid as that sounds, like he's the only guy, right? He's the only left-handed guy. But look, I don't see how you cannot pick Buffalo even at 13.5. I mean, they're just too strong, and Miami seems like they went from being the team that was like the blueprint for how you build to like being an utter disaster in a matter of weeks, it seems. So, I mean, they lost to the Jags, right? So I don't know. I don't see how you could pick anybody but Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo's been getting some amazing spreads. It's been fascinating me. I'm like, how do they get these so many points favored to them? And then they cover it every week. So now it's making sense that they even have less than last week to a worse team. Yeah. Miami's one of those teams. It's like the opposite of the Raiders, right? They start off slow and then they catch fire at the end, where the Raiders start off good and then they just choke and dump their season off at the end.
Well, the Raiders
we just haven't seen that from Miami at all. They just haven't. They have all the players, right? They have Gaskins and all those guys. Like they have really good players, but for some reason just aren't connecting. And they've just looked terrible this year. So I definitely am going Buffalo with the points on this one as well.
Here, I'll pop this up real quick. I don't know if you guys can read. John B said, "As a Niner fan, this is my therapy. I'm facing my trauma head on." The 2000 roll-off.
Yeah.
I mean,
we
John,
appreciate you. We appreciate you going through pain and suffering there to help out the channel, yeah. John B. I know it's brutal. I don't think, Bo, you don't have your Joe Montana jersey up out there yet, do you?
I just have a Chiefs Montana jersey, I think. I don't have my 49ers one.
John, I can name between 20 and 31 reasons why that's a good idea to face your trauma head on. So.
Just got to rub it in on John. He's doing us a solid and hanging in the show.
I know.
There it is. But 19. They're only hang this up just for John in our background.
So a little background on Bo. We grew up in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and our family is from Kansas City. Nick and I were both born here. We moved to New Mexico when we were real young, but Brandon, Bo, he grew up down the street. I played soccer with his older brother. Brandon's Nick's age, and his older brother, Derek, is my age. And when you grow up and you're from a place like New Mexico, you don't really have a team. So a lot of people follow the closest team. There's a lot of Broncos, Cowboys fans out there, which is brutal being a Chiefs fan. But a lot of people follow players. And Bo is a huge Joe Montana fan. Joe Montana came to the Chiefs. He started coming over to our house watching Chiefs games, and then Joe retired, and Bo kind of became a Chiefs fan de facto through us. Yep. So he's definitely got the love for the 80s and 90s Niners and Joe Montana. So he's got the jersey up there. So yeah, and I would say just going back to the Tua thing. Look, Tua is a fine quarterback. I think he could have a good career. But if you can go get someone like Deshaun Watson, he's one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league. That's not really disrespecting Tua.
Right.
It's just if you can make an upgrade like that. But I don't think that trade's going to happen. And I don't want to get too wrapped up here and talk about the Dolphins and the Bills for too much longer. But they, I don't see that trade happening. You'd almost be crazy for yeah, you're welcome, John.
You're welcome, John. Thanks for
You
watching. We really appreciate it.
they I just don't know that you can trade the kind of capital it's going to take to get him, even though he's at a discount with the off the field stuff. I mean, if he gets charged and goes in and starts serving some time, and you've given up 2 or 3 or 4 picks and maybe even some young developmental players on your team,
A lot.
you're going to be a world of hurt. So I think you probably see maybe something in the offseason once he gets the off the field issues settled before you have any kind of a trade, if a trade at all. But so I think we're all picking the Bills to cover then.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
I think I read this morning though that Carolina was interested in Deshaun Watson. Did you guys read that at all?
They were for a little bit, but then they kind of backed out and they took their, hat out of the ring there. So
All
Like
right.
Sam Darnold not working out this year for him?
he that looked like a mirage. It's turned out to be there, that 3 or 4 game stretch there at the beginning of the year, which is kind of a shame because they got some decent players and had a good start. And we're looking. I like their coach Matt Rule. He was at Baylor and then he's gone to the NFL and had some early success. And they get Christian McCaffrey back. They've got some playmakers on that team with DJ Moore, CMC. They need to get the quarterback situation figured out, and it's looking like that was the exception to the rule there to start the season with them. But what do we got next game?
Next game, we've got this spread is kind of surprising to me. Tennessee at Indy. Tennessee is given 1.5 points.
Right. Tennessee, we talked about this game on the Shank Club NFL show that I do on Saturdays.
Yeah.
And Tennessee is such a weird team because they struggled. They needed an overtime win to beat the Seahawks, who are having a tough season now. Seahawks still had Russell Wilson at that point. So Seahawks were not the Geno Smith Seahawks that you've seen rolled out there the last couple of weeks. But still, they've only won a couple of games. They needed overtime to come back and win that game. They lost to the Jets. Then they turn around and beat the Bills and the Chiefs in 8 days or whatever it was. So that team's really hard to figure out. Indianapolis looks like maybe they're getting some stuff going there with Carson Wentz is maybe a little back on track with Frank Reich there in Indianapolis. Jonathan Taylor is a beast running back. And how the Chiefs passed on him to take Clyde in the first round a couple of years ago just had my jaw was on the floor when I saw that pick.
Right.
And not only that you took a running back in the first round, but you passed over the consensus guy in that draft at the position to take Clyde Edwards. Puzzling there, but he's a beast of a running back. You got to go with the hot hand and pick Tennessee though. Indianapolis is I think they're a mediocre team this year. They started slow, and like I said, they've picked it up a little bit. But I'd have to roll Tennessee right now in that game. Nick?
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe the thing I'm discounting here when I'm confused by the spread is that it's a divisional game, right? But after watching Tennessee just dismantle the Chiefs, I can't not pick them in this game because Patrick Mahomes to Carson Wentz is such a huge fall off, right? So I'm going to take Tennessee. I think they're going to win probably by 2 scores personally.
Yeah, I don't think the spread's big enough. I know that it's an away game for Tennessee, but they are just on a hot roll. I don't know how Indianapolis comes in and stops Derrick Henry or Tannehill and Brown and everybody. Their offense is on fire right now. And they're game planning for the teams that they're playing for really well. They seem to know what their defense is trying to do, and they just do the exact opposite on offense. But Indianapolis is one of those teams that are always tough. Like, no matter who they're playing, it's always typically a good game. I know they had one pretty shitty game this year, but whoever they play, they're always in it. But for that, I'm still going to give Tennessee the points, maybe a score, not 2 like Nick did. That's pretty favorable. But, yeah, Tennessee with the points.
And if I had $1 for every game I looked at and thought, what is Vegas thinking with that spread? That's not enough.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, they know more than I know and more than we know for sure. So it always gives you a pause when you see something that you're that you think is off or should be bigger with the Vegas lines. So, and yeah, John's right there. AJ Brown is a baller. That dude, he started off the season hurt. So I think he's getting healthy. And you saw against the Chiefs, which hell, against the Chiefs secondary, everybody looks good though, really. But yeah, he looks like
the ball really well too, right? I mean, in that Chiefs game, he got some dimes in there to AJ Brown. So
right.
Yeah, Brown was mossing some of our guys. That's for sure. Going up, grabbing them over the back, looking good.
Okay,
Yeah.
next up here, we've got the game of the week, right? Washington at Denver. So, what do you
think,
think?
Oh man, well, Washington hasn't turned it around at all since before they played us. They just continue to look worse and worse. But so does Denver too. So I kind of say it every week. This is one of those games where it's just two terrible teams going against each other, and it's just hard to pick. Looks like they have Denver favored because they're the home team by a field goal. Do we know who's the starting for Denver as quarterback? Is it Locke? Is it Teddy Two Gloves? Is it their third string?
I believe it's Teddy Bridgewater still. There was some talk going around that is this time to bench Teddy though. And if you remember back in weeks 2 and 3, when the Broncos were 2-0 and 3-0, and Teddy Bridgewater looked like the next coming of Mike Vick or Patrick Mahomes, I told everybody, pump the brakes. Don't get too excited about Teddy Bridgewater and the Broncos. And that's, come out to, be spot on.
For good reason, right? Like we were talking about it. They weren't playing great teams. They were winning. And now they're playing some decent teams and they're losing. So when they start playing great teams, they're just going to get smashed. But Washington's just not one of those teams, though. They're just a mediocre team as well. I guess I'd have to give it to Denver just on home field advantage by the field. I'd give them the points, a field goal too. I just don't think Washington has what it takes right now to keep up with anybody.
Yeah, in a close game like this, I'm not going to pick the Broncos. So I'm going to pick Washington in a close game. I don't think this one's going to be setting any record books on fire for ratings and viewers or whatever. That's a terrible game. I'm just going to pick Washington purely out of my hatred for the Broncos.
Yeah, I mean the real losers here are the fans of both of those teams. So I'm going to go with Scott. I mean, I lived in Denver for like 6 years, and it only further instilled my hatred of that team and their cocky fan base. So every minute that they are a shitty team, it just makes me happier. I don't know if that makes me a bad person or not, but I'm going to go with Washington here.
Ooh, our first split on a game. All right.
Yeah.
John's
got
Washington too. That's our guy right there. So
yeah.
Ooh, I'm the only one picking Denver. All right.
Taylor Heineke versus Teddy Bridgewater. Set your alarm.
At a mile high, though. See if Washington can keep up at that elevation.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. All right. We've got the New England Patriots at the Chargers. Chargers are favored by 5.5 points.
I think they should be too. New England's just been falling off. They haven't really found their footing this season. They haven't put anything together that would make me think like, oh yeah, they're going to just come out and dominate the Chargers. The Chargers secondary, however, is proving that New England could come out and dominate the Chargers. But the Chargers offense, I feel like, is just way more powerful, way more together. We've seen what they've done this year. They're sticking it in there with tough teams, winning when they need to. New England just isn't. So yeah, I'll take Chargers with the points. They're probably going to score more than that. Probably a touchdown and a field goal.
It's Bill Belichick versus young quarterbacks is the thing here, right? That he often confuses young quarterbacks, and then the Chargers' run defense, I think, is the worst in the league, right? They're the only team that's worse than us. So that does help discount some of the quarterback advantage if New England can run the ball consistently, chew up clock. But it is really hard to pick New England in this one. I'm going to do it anyway, though, just because I don't want the Chargers to win. So I'm going to go New England.
Well, it sounds like Nick was taking notes from my appearance on the Shank Club NFL show yesterday because he said everything I said yesterday about this game stole all my thunder. That defense that
Basic take, Scott.
I don't think they can. I think that New England can slow down the Chargers. I think they can run the ball on the Chargers. I think Bill Belichick can slow down Justin Herbert with his defense. They got exposed a little bit by the Ravens a couple weeks ago when they just got completely bombed out of the building by them. Los Angeles too. They've had a couple of these where they're really aggressive on going for it and going for it on fourth downs, regardless of where you're at. They go for a lot of even like fourth and longs. We saw it against the Chiefs. They got bailed out by a bad defensive pass interference penalty on that game-winning drive on a fourth down against Kansas City. That when they got against us, I think that was week 3, I want to say. I like New England in this game. I do. I'm going to pick New England to win outright, not just to cover. I think New England will win.
Okay.
Chargers, I'm not sold. Like I said, Nick pointed out that defense, and Bill Belichick has shown that he can confuse younger quarterbacks. Herbert's only in his second year. And you always hear teams say too that after a bad loss, you want to get right back out there and play and get things right. And they've had 2 weeks to sit there and think about that beatdown that they took from the Ravens. So there's a confluence of factors here that lead me. Like I said, lead me to think New England's got a good chance, and I think New England will win.
Never underestimate the Chargers' ability to blow close games.
That too.
So.
That too.
Okay, next we got.
Who did John B get in that one? I'm sure you guys said it. I missed it.
He picked the Chargers. Yep.
All right, man. We got you guys on that one.
He said he doesn't think that they're going to cover, though. So.
What was it, 3? It was 3, right? Yeah.
5.5.
5.5. Yeah, all right. Fair enough.
Dallas given 2.5 to the Vikings. Scotty, who are you picking here?
I like the Vikings in this game too. They're a sneaky team. They lose a lot of close games year after year after year. They still haven't figured out the field goal kicker somehow in Minnesota after all this time. I made a joke on a show a few weeks ago where if there's ever a team that should pick a kicker in the first or second round of the draft, it's the Vikings, because it would have won 10 or 12 more games the last 2 or 3 years if they had a good field goal kicker. They've got Dalvin Cook. They've got Justin Jefferson. They've got some playmakers. Adam Thielen is a good receiver, underrated. If you play fantasy, a lot of people know about Adam Thielen. The Cowboys' defense is suspect. It's on the road. Dak is going to be a game time decision, I think. So he's dealing with an injury. Maybe he's not at 100%. If that's the case, I like the Vikings to sneak up and nip the Cowboys in this game.
What do you think, Bo?
Yeah, I definitely echo what Scott just said. It depends on which Cowboys team comes out. If it's Dak and Zeke and everybody's healthy and CeeDee Lamb, then Dallas all day. But that'll only be a game time thing that we know when Dak decides if he wants to play. I am insanely jealous of Dallas's O-line. They give whoever's in there so much time to make decisions. They protect them. It's just phenomenal to watch that O-line.
Yeah.
But the Vikings are just on a roll. Like Scott said, they have some great players. Thielen, Jefferson, Cook. They're all healthy. They all feel good. Cousins is fired up and on a roll, so that's few and far between when that guy's looking good. I have the Vikings edging over Dallas here. It's at home for the Vikings, so I can see them taking this.
And your girlfriend's a Vikings fan. We're just going to throw that out there.
John B., if Dak plays, I want Dallas to cover, possibly even an OT game. If Dak is out, he's picking the Vikings.
Yeah, I feel that same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Dak doesn't play, it's Vikings all day. I mean,
right.
He's the engine that drives that team, obviously, the quarterback. So
Isn't Dallas's backup Case Keenum? Is that who it is?
No, Case Keenum's with the Browns. We were talking
Oh,
about
that's
it
right.
yesterday. Cooper Rush or some shit like that.
Yeah.
It sounds like one of those chain microbrewery places. They got a quarterback. I don't know. I've never even heard of that guy before. When we were talking about it on the show yesterday, fucking like someone said, does anybody even know who the Cowboys backup is? And I got to thinking about it, and I was like, no, I don't. But, I don't know anything about that guy.
Yeah. I'm going to make my pick assuming that Dak's going to play based on, I mean, I think they would have ruled him out already if he wasn't going to play, but I could be wrong.
Right.
That, again, if he has that great O-line. So even if he is a little banged up, right, they can get him protection. I think Zeke's been a monster this year, probably mostly because of that O-line, right? I mean,
right.
Offensive lines make running backs look great, but I'm going to pick Dallas in this one. I just think that they're too strong of a team right now. And with Dak playing, they have the quarterback advantage. So in a close game, I'll go with the better QB.
Some pundits are saying Dallas is the best team in the NFC. I don't agree with it, but they're out there saying that.
They're explosive on offense, and they've got playmakers. Yeah, Ben DiNucci, I think he's gone, John. I think he was here. I think he was there last year, and he left maybe when they got Andy Dalton. But, yeah, Cowboys got playmakers on offense, no doubt about it. I mean, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Dak, Zeke Elliott, that offensive line,
they're stacked.
They're a legit team. They gave Tampa Bay all they wanted in the opening week there. They beat the Chargers on the road. They're not a bad team. I keep waiting for that defense to kind of resort back to form the last few years.
Right.
And the Cowboys just seem like one of those teams in Dak Prescott where they throw for a lot of yards and score, but they seem to lose. It looks like they've turned that around a little bit this year. But again, there's just the Vikings, I think, are a sneaky team, and they're playing at home. So I'm going to lean them.
Okay. Well, the next game up is a game that we're going to be doing a live show from tomorrow at Arrowhead Stadium. The Giants at the Chiefs. The Chiefs, surprising here, right, Bo? They're giving 10 points to the Giants. So,
yeah, especially after last week when we didn't even score a touchdown. It's funny because all the talking heads on TV are saying Chiefs are dead, yet Vegas, who we all know knows football better than NFL pundits, put Chiefs at a score and a touchdown over the Giants. I mean, so how are you dead if you're still crushing teams on betting lines, let alone they're probably going to crush the Giants tomorrow. Tomorrow. So, it's just funny, man. I think I put together a video clip, but my internet's not working. It was all of Patrick Mahomes' touchdowns this year, and it was just to show everybody, he ain't dead. He's not even close to being bad. You know what I mean? He's so good. All of his touchdowns on the money, on point to receivers that are wide open. And as we saw last week, most of his interceptions are not his fault. They're going through receivers' hands, fluke tips and stuff like that. So I got KC all day on this game. The Giants just haven't done anything. I don't even think the Giants didn't their QB get knocked out last week or not? No, I'm sorry, I'm mixing my games.
No, Daniel Jones did get hurt, so
yeah, okay. So I don't even think the Giants
ago, though. He's back. Saquon Barkley is out still with injury.
Yeah, so I just don't see I don't see them bringing the weapons to score on KC enough.
yeah, I mean, I like the Chiefs to win big. They stomped the Washington football team, right? I mean, I know that was a closer game till the end, but they just ran away with it. The Giants aren't as good as Washington, right? I think they're a worse team. We saw what happened with some of the other lower competition teams in our division against the Giants, getting their asses kicked. So, I mean, I like KC to win big in this one. Get Bo his first official regular season win at Arrowhead Stadium.
Here we go.
Yeah.
You keep bringing that up, man. You just don't believe in the jinxes or what?
Not really. I don't.
We broke the jinx at preseason.
Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, they say
All curses are broken when we have Patrick Mahomes. You know that.
yeah. That's true. That's true. Right.
I
No,
mean,
no doubt about that. So
we Scotty and I have been at some of the losses at Arrowhead that when we didn't have Mahomes, that you would believe in curses, people completing touchdown passes to themselves and no punts and all that sort of stuff. But
Jamal Charles getting 7 touches against the Ravens in the divisional round.
yeah.
Yeah.
John B says Giants defense isn't trash. That's true, right? Washington also has a pretty good, defensive front supposedly. So I mean, it's something to look for, right? I mean, we could have, they definitely don't want to overlook anybody right now with the way they've been playing. So I mean, they're going to have to play. It's an NFL team that's coming in, and it's prime time. Those people have families and friends that are watching them play too, and they have, they've been working their entire lives, so they have that pride that they're playing for. Playing against KC, I know that KC's had a down year, but I mean, that's still a premier team, team that's been in the championship game, AFC championship game 3 years in a row, went to back-to-back Super Bowls, won a Super Bowl. So, I mean, everybody is still going to get up to play the Chiefs. But I just feel like KC is just too strong. They're too talented. It's just really going to come down to turnovers and, so.
This game, Chiefs are going to win this game, and they're going to win it big. The Giants, unfortunately, they have to come into Arrowhead on a primetime game after the Chiefs got their ass kicked and got embarrassed by the Tennessee Titans. That has not sat well with this team this last week. Patrick Mahomes, we've talked, people want to sit there. They've just been waiting for anything they could to find and reach for to say that he's fallen off and that the league has figured him out.
Yeah.
And it's nonsense. It's nonsense. We, like Bo referenced, you go back and watch the show we did from on Tuesday. We showed all of his interceptions. Half of them are not his fault. Maybe even more than half of them aren't his fault. Guys dropping the ball, him getting hit in the face as he's throwing the ball with no penalty to take it away, like you would see if it was a Tom Brady or one of these other guys that seems to get protected by the NFL and the referees. So they're going to come out. They're going to be pissed. They're going to have the juice. Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes, they're tired of hearing about, especially Patrick. We see him do the counting on his fingers thing against the Ravens a couple years ago, and he got voted 4th best player in the NFL 100. We've seen him against the Bears a couple of years ago when they picked Mitchell Trubisky over him, and he dropped to 10th. And you saw him doing the finger counting thing in that game. He pays attention to what people in the media and other people around the leagues are saying about him. He's been saying all the right things in the press conferences this week. I've got to play better. Deep down inside that dude's got to be thinking, I'm still the best. I'm going to go out and I'm going to show everybody. Teammates stopped letting them down. They stopped turning the ball over. Before last week, they were the number 1 scoring team in the NFL on a per drive basis.
Yep.
Clean up some of the turnovers. Daniel Jones, he's Daniel Jones. He's nothing spectacular. There's nothing to write home about. They're missing their top running back, Saquon Barkley, one of the better running backs in the league. So this just has all the, there's a recipe for a dominant win for the Chiefs. I'm going to pick them to win by easily more than 10 points.
What's the score?
I just really don't see a way. I just really don't see, unless the Chiefs come out and are -4 or 5 in turnovers, I just don't see a way that the Giants really have a clear path to win.
Yeah. What's your score, Scott?
I'm going to go 37-21. Chiefs.
Yeah. Bo?
I got Chiefs 31-10 for John B.
He's got to keep rubbing it in.
31-20, but.
Oh, yeah, excuse me. What did I say, 10? Sorry, that's a
10.
Freudian slip. There's a bunch of numbers on my computer. Just looked up at it. Yeah.
But he can pick 30-9 to rub it in that we got our asses kicked last year in the Super Bowl.
Right. I'm just waiting for that comment to scroll in from John if he's still watching.
Let's see here. Okay, well, he went Chiefs 38-14. It's not a bad pick.
Yeah, that's about right, really, I think.
42. I'm going to go 42-21. I'm picking a big night for the Chiefs. It's prime time. Patrick's going to ball out. Cheetah's going to have over 150 yards, I bet. Travis Kelce over 100 yards. I think they're going to kick the shit out of the Giants and hopefully get the bad taste of that Titans game out of their mouth. So,
right. I'm gonna call an audible here. We normally do the Chiefs game last, but since we have our special guest John V in the comments, let's go ahead. Let's pick 49ers Bears. San Francisco at Chicago. I want to know what John thinks about that game, and I want to see what you guys got to say. Nick?
Well, I think you made John V a little mad there with that.
Just a little vinegar. Just a little.
All in good fun. 49ers at the Bears. I mean, I think they were saying that Fields had like the lowest QBR of anybody since they started the stat or some sort of abysmal stat. You guys were saying yesterday on Shan Club that Nagy is out. He's not going to be coaching.
Right.
So, I mean, I think you got to go with the Niners here. I mean, I'm gonna pick the Niners to win. I think that it probably won't even be relatively close. I mean, it's Jimmy G is starting.
Yep.
Man, that's a weird dude to figure out, Jimmy Garoppolo. Maybe he was a little bit of fool's gold getting sold there, but I mean, he's taking his team to a Super Bowl, right? I mean, I know that the Niners. Let's see, John V. Chicago fans are stoked.
Yeah, that's not a good look for your franchise when your fans are happy that your head coach is not going to be coaching in the game.
Oh, good, he's got COVID. It's like some
Yeah,
Philadelphia.
right. Exactly. I don't know that they would come out and say it necessarily in those words, but yeah, that's a terrible look for the Bears, and that's so weird for me to figure out because you look at everybody talks about the Andy Reid coaching tree.
Yeah.
And how successful the offense was with Matt Nagy here. I mean, he was pre-Mahomes Chiefs.
Right.
He had Alex Smith out there, and it's really weird that he has not been able to figure it out there. Doug Peterson left, Andy Reid went on, won a Super Bowl. Sean McDermott, the coach of the Bills, he's an Andy Reid guy. You just go all over the league. Yeah, John V is not. He's definitely not Team Jimmy G. He's definitely Team Trey Lance. So I was
normally
kind of to come in there, but
normally it's been the 49ers giving the Chiefs fool's gold with cast-off
Right.
QBs.
right, yeah, Elvis Gerback and Steve Bono, and hey, Joe Montana almost took us to the promised land.
Yeah,
If he
He's
would have
got
got hurt in that championship game, he would have taken us to the Super Bowl.
Alex Smith was good. He turned our team around from being hot dog shit to, respectable. So,
Dude, I feel like Jimmy G is the 49ers Alex Smith, right? Like really good. And you're just like, all right, we got a decent quarterback, but just not the one pulling it through at the end. You know what I mean? You're just like, oh man, if he just would have went for it instead of checking it down there. I mean, that's Alex Smith's criticism, but like, just missing that slight little edge that you want in a quarterback.
yeah, I don't know that I'd question Shanahan, John. I let me put this back up. Sorry. Look, I'm questioning whatever's going on with the strength and conditioning people. I don't know. Like, I can't figure the amount of injuries that the 49ers have had.
Right.
I mean, it's got to be tough when you have, that many people getting hurt all the time.
That many all-stars getting hurt, right? It's
yeah,
not just like
Kittle's
random
pretty
guys.
good, right? You guys are missing all that primo blocking from Kittle on the field. But yeah, I don't know. I don't. To be honest, I don't watch a lot of their games, but I know that I really like his offensive schemes and what he does with with you guys' run game and stuff, but I don't know. It's hard to figure, right? So it's tough when you lose the Super Bowl. The Chiefs are figuring that out too. I mean, it's tough. So,
Bo, what do
okay.
you think? 49ers, Bears?
I mean, ultimately, I'd probably pick the 49ers to win it outright. The Bears are kind of, I mean, they're one of those teams, like, you just don't know who you're going to be fighting week to week or playing against week to week. They can come out and give you one hell of a time, or they can just hand the game right to you. But the 49ers kind of look the same way. I mean, I haven't watched all of their games this year. They're looking pretty decent, though. They're not, I don't think they're the Super Bowl team they were 2 years ago, but I mean, they're making great changes, great improvements. I mean, it's almost a coin toss for me, but I'm going to go for San Francisco.
San Francisco defense is not the defense where Justin Fields figures it out and gets things right. They do have a stellar killer defense in San Francisco. They're almost like the polar opposite of the Chiefs. They can't figure it out on offense and get the ball moving and score points.
Right.
Their defense keeps them in games, and the Chiefs, their defense is atrocious, but the offense scores enough to keep them in the game. They're almost like, like I said, polar opposites of one another. 49ers should go in tonight, I think, kick the Bears' ass, really. Yep. The Bears just are not very good. I'm really disappointed and surprised. I mean, I shouldn't say disappointed. I'm not disappointed in Justin Fields. I'm disappointed by him. I mean, I'm not his mom, right? Like, he's not disappointing me personally. But I really thought that it was between he was one of the clear top two guys. Where everybody was talking about, is it Trevor Lawrence or is it Zach Wilson or is it? I thought Justin Fields was one of the top, if not the best, quarterback prospect coming out. Yeah, I could see that for sure. Nick Bosa having a big day. That dude's an animal. That dude's a beast.
Yeah, I could see that.
Good God, that guy is just – I mean, he's right up there with the premier, right? Like Chase Young and some of these premier top 2-3 edge rushers in the game. He's a badass. Yeah, I just don't see Justin Fields figuring it out. He's disappointing. I thought he was going to be better than he's been. I really liked him at Ohio State. I thought he had some moxie and was going to come in and maybe it's just the Bears, right? The Bears, it doesn't seem like who they have at quarterback. That it can't seem to figure it out. But, yeah, I'm going to – 49ers should roll in this one. I mean, I see them winning by 10, 12, 14 points, somewhere in there over the Bears. The Bears' defense also is not what it has been in the past. So, yep, give me the Niners. John, how are you feeling? What's your score? What do you think?
I was a little bit disappointed in Justin Fields too, though, man. Like, I thought he was just going to be a young quarterback, needed like 2 or 3 games, figure it out, and then we'd see another great rookie coming in. You know what I mean? And
right,
just kind of hasn't gotten that train going. But I think once he does find himself there, like we'll be talking about this guy in years to come for sure.
Yeah, he's kind of dealing with lack of weapons too. So. They've got Allen Robinson, but other than that, who do they have? A wide receiver, David Montgomery. They've got a decent running game. Yeah, that sounds. I would pick probably right in there. I was thinking 24-10, somewhere in there. So we're pretty close with what John's got. He's rolling his Niners. So
I got the Niners. I think it'll be a little bit closer than that. Somewhere like mid-20s, 24-17, maybe somewhere in there.
Right. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see that they've got Trey Lance. I just don't know, like, what they're waiting for.
Yeah.
They must just not think he's ready, right?
Everything I've seen him play, he looks ready. I mean, he gives that RPO option, which is like the killer in this year's league. Right. He's young. He's accurate. So I don't understand what they're waiting for.
I don't know. Is it worth sacrificing a season with somebody that can't get you there to make sure you don't break the confidence of the guy that or that you think can get you there, right? I mean, that's just kind of the question, right? I mean, they say that with like pitchers in Major League Baseball, they bring them up too quickly and they get just like hammered by the Major League hitters, and then they like that their confidence is just shit And so I don't know. It's got to be frustrating. And Chiefs fans were frustrated when we sat Mahomes too. But Alex Smith, like, fortunately for us, balled out that year. So, like, it wasn't, he was a top-rated passer in that season. So we weren't sitting there watching someone that was subpar, right, going 3 and out. But it's tricky. I just think I would err on the side of caution and not breaking the quarterback personally if it was my call. But maybe Dalton fools us by throwing his cleat.
He could, I guess. I don't. I mean, nothing's impossible, right? But
Reminds me of Billy Madison. I was the only player to take off my cleat and try to throw it at somebody.
I think it was Happy Gilmore. He was going to stab someone with his ice skate or something. Right?
I'm the only guy that.
Oh yeah, Happy Gilmore, right? Yeah.
No. Yeah,
Okay,
that whole thing was weird too. That was like, we're going to go with Andy Dalton, and you're just. But again, maybe they're protecting Justin Fields. It's obviously maybe he wasn't ready. He hasn't played very well, so maybe they should have kept rolling the red rifle out there, man. I don't know, but
no kids in the house, John. I can relate, man. It's a different world when the kids are gone. That's for sure.
John's a passionate dude, man. I'll give him that. He loves his Niners as much as we love our Chiefs. There's no doubt about that. The dude is into his team, and when you hear about like these diehard fans, John V is definitely one of the diehard Niners fans. And check him out on Twitter. And like I said, check out his show Locker Room Rant. That's really, really good stuff. It's funny, and those guys know what they're talking about. And I enjoy watching it every week. So. Well, it looks like the games are starting, so people probably don't want to listen to us talk anymore. They probably want to get to the games. So
I want to keep talking. I don't have the internet. I can't watch any games.
We got one other thing that I think John can hang around. Maybe he can get his input. So we've been going through and painstakingly got us on track with who's in the lead. Scotty's currently in the lead, and I think Bo's currently not in the lead the most.
I'm losing.
So, what should the winner get, and what should the loser get of our season here?
For the picks?
Yeah, that's funny. Nick,
I was kind of just thinking maybe like some Chiefs gear or something for the winner. We could figure out something for the loser, like a new hat, new shirt, or something.
Maybe we could find. Do they have those shirts from basketball that say "loser" or "losers"?
Yeah, you can find those.
Yeah, I bet we could find those.
We'll find a loser and a winner shirt. You have to wear it for a couple podcasts.
Yeah. Hey, I appreciate that, John. I know we're just getting started out. There's some things that may be a little clunky, but we're having a lot of fun doing this. It's great to get out there, and I appreciate you coming and commenting. We'll have to have you on the show live at some point to discuss. So, and I watch Shan Club pretty religiously, and I've seen your Locker Room Rant, but I do enjoy your takes, and it was a pleasure having you comment.
Thanks for commenting, man.
So, yeah, John V he's one of the good dudes out there for sure. He's the king of Ohio Niners fans. That's what I call him when he's doing his show and everything like that. But
the problem with that, John, is that
what is it?
That would mean one of us has to buy like Raiders or Broncos gear, and I just don't think that any of us doing that. Money on it.
I don't even buy my brother's Broncos gear, so
we could set up a GoFundMe or something maybe, and we could get some people out there. I don't know, but yeah. Well, we'll see how our picks come out this week. And again, we appreciate everybody watching the show, commenting. If you haven't already, click the like and subscribe button. Help the show out. We're doing this for fun, and we just want to get as many people in here as we can to watch and comment and just talk football. We've been, I started doing the Shan Club thing a while back with those guys, and we've kind of spun this off and doing the Chiefs content, and it's just a lot of fun. We get to see Bo. Like I said, he doesn't live here in town. He's traveling all over the country representing the Kingdom far and wide. So hit us up on our social media platforms at the Kingdom Cast on Twitter, Facebook, IG. I think Nick said he got a Twitch set up, and we'll see how those picks go. And then we'll be doing, I think instead of doing the Tuesday show, maybe we'll do something live from Arrowhead if we can get some signal. Sometimes it gets a little crowded out there, and the internet signal is not the greatest. So we'll try to do some live Kingdom cast from Arrowhead Stadium tomorrow ahead of the Chiefs-Giants Monday Night Football game. And until then, thanks for watching. Let's go Chiefs.
Let's
Go
go
Chiefs!
Chiefs!